Hello, Howard Hanna world. Good morning. I think everyone kind of knows the drill here. We are waiting for everyone to sign on. We have a pretty large group. People love Chris Gunn.
Kate's only flattering me because she knows I'm bitter about having to be up at 6:30 in the morning to start working on this.
He is West Coast time, so we are very appreciative. Everyone say hi, Chris Gunn.
Hi, everybody.
So I'm going to just go over some of the logistics here. If you have not been on a Wednesday webinar, or if you haven't been on one for a minute here, just some reminders. Before anyone asks, of course, it is being recorded. It will be uploaded on the Howard Hanna Education channel after. You can review that. Let's see. The next thing, so everyone needs to know the difference between the chat and the Q&A. If you have a question for Chris to answer during, or you want him to review something, please put that in the Q&A. That is something that we can download after and actually kind of get together an FAQ for everyone. If you want to just say hi or just chat with someone in the meeting, you can use the chat. We do not save the chat in our meeting. So if you ask a question in that, we will not be able to get to it. Please put it in the Q&A. All right, I think we kind of slowed down. I'm sure some people are probably still getting their coffee. But so everyone, let me just introduce Chris Gunn. Actually, I think we've been working pretty close together now since maybe for 2 years. I think 2018, right? And he is the director of account management at MoxieWorks. He's actually, he's pretty important there, but he's lucky for us, he's one of our point people for our account. So Moxie is the company that does the Go Hanna platform, Engage CRM, and Hanna presentations. So they are kind of our partner throughout all of that. He's gonna, I know he's gonna give me a hard time because of how early it is. So you'll see, he's just a lovely gentleman. And I'm gonna butter him up as much as possible throughout this entire process. So everyone, I'm gonna hide my screen. I'm going to mute. I will be here if you have a question. Again, questions in the Q&A, and if you have something for the meeting, just to say hello, whatever, that would be in the chat. Chris, you are on.
All right, well, thank you, Kate. Thank you, everybody, for joining me this morning. I'm really glad that I can present to you. Obviously, I'm going to complain a little bit about Kate getting me to do something that requires me to wake up at 6:30 in the morning, because nobody gets that from me except you guys. Once again, my name is Christopher Gunn. I'm Director of Account Management at MoxieWorks and the account manager for Howard Hanna directly. So I work with the team over at Hanna to launch and implement all of the new Moxie tools. For those of you that do not know who MoxieWorks is, we are the makers of Go Hanna, Hanna presentations, and also Engage CRM. We're going to be introducing a couple other cool tools for you guys and doing an overhaul of some of the ones that you're already using. But the reason we exist is to help brokerages sell more homes together with technology that hopefully makes your lives easier. And one of the big things that's happened over the last 3 or 4 months is that technology has really stepped into the forefront because people haven't been able to be face-to-face as they had before. And so it's even more important to us that the technology is helping to make your life easier now that you're not as able to go meet people face-to-face as you might have been in the past. And so our goal is to create tools that you actually want to use. Like I said, we're going to talk about Moxie Present today, but we also create Moxie Engage, a full suite of marketing tools, a suite of talent tools to help you find the right people to be on your team, as well as websites and an intranet platform, which you guys know is Go Hanna. All right. And how all of this works is basically we take the data from all over basically and consolidate it in our Moxie cloud. And so we'll talk a little bit about Present today, but essentially what we do is we take the brokerage roster, all of your branding information, all of the property data, and all of the consumer data, put it in one place and make it easy for Hanna, the Howard Hanna companies, to consume that information and send it to where it needs to go. And so we can route it to print marketing partners, we can route it to the CMA, we can route it to other marketing that you can do online. And so it's really just a framework based around your data to make things communicate really easily. We are, though, here to talk about Moxie Present. And so I'm actually going to ask a couple of questions, and I'd like somebody to pop into the chat with their opinion. Who here has not used Moxie Present yet? And so you can drop something in the chat. You don't have to put this in the Q&A. Is there anybody that has not used Moxie Present? And so Judy Ellis, okay, Alex Humister.
There's a lot of people raising their hand, Chris, that they haven't either. Okay.
All right. And so I'm going to ask a couple of you to say, just pop in the chat why. What's been holding you back? Because I've probably got a couple of ideas, and I want to see if some of these match with you guys. First is and I hear this a lot, where it's just, okay, new agents. And one of the things I hear a lot is it's just hard to get started because you don't know where to start. The other thing that I hear a lot is that you don't have the time to jump in and start. Too busy, yeah, David. That's one that I hear all the time. So much info to learn, be busy working. Okay, and so I want to talk to you guys. Tech challenge, Natalie. That is one of my favorite responses. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Moxie Present and what we built it for and how we built it to work. Essentially, it's more than just a CMA. It does listing presentations, buyer tours, marketing presentations, open house presentations. You can do neighborhood showcases, remote tours, a virtual area tour, all in this tool. And you only need to have 3 technical skills to make the whole thing work. You need to be able to type. You need to be able to copy and paste, and you already need to know how to give a CMA as a real estate agent outside of using software, because the tool is designed to mimic the exact same workflow where you would go find comps, organize those comps into a logical story, and then develop your pricing strategy, talk about your value, and show the price to your client. That's all Present is designed to do for a CMA, and it's already built in there. If you want to do any of the fancy stuff, all you need to do is be able to copy and paste, type, and already have known how to do all the real estate bits around it. And I know this sounds like I'm being silly, but I'm really not. It's actually as straightforward as copying and pasting, and most times to be able to create a beautiful CMA. So I actually want to show you guys this a little bit later when I jump into the product. So the reason we designed it to be the way that it is, and for those of you that haven't gotten into it yet, I really, really recommend that after this you do that, is because we want to help you exceed client expectations. One of the big things about Hanna Presentations, Moxie Present, is that the MLS data is live. It's going to be accurate down to the second. So when you open up a Hanna presentation with your client, we're actually going to pull in all the most recent MLS data for all of the listings that you have in your presentation and make that available. So if the status has changed from active to pending in the last 5 minutes, when you open your presentation, that pending status is going to be there. It gives you the opportunity to edit on the fly. One of my favorite things to see somebody do in a listing presentation is ask why their neighbor's house listed for so much more than what you want to put theirs on the market for, or so much less. Because you can actually just pull up their neighbor's house, look at all of the amenities, all of the differences, and have a conversation with them in real time about that pricing data, which is way more powerful than having to go back, take a look at it, email them an update, or give them a call to follow up. You can do it right there on the fly. It's easy to share, and so it gives you the opportunity to share it via link. You can print a PDF. You can email it directly to your client. If they're in your Engage account, you can see every time somebody opens your presentation if you email it to them through the Present email function, because that connects directly to your Engage account. Also, for our buyer tour, you can add commentary and guidance, and all of this is customizable to the different screen size, your different client needs. So a presentation is going to look good on an iPad. It's going to look good on a mobile phone. It's going to look good on a 64-inch monitor. It's going to look good on a Jumbotron. And so you want to make sure that you're getting these out to your client as often as possible. All right. And like I was saying before, it's not just for comps and images. You can create custom pages, embed video. I frame entire websites into a page, and I'll show you how to do all of this. Add contact forms and share presentations socially. And while you're doing this, you can actually track every time a client views your presentation, which makes it that much more powerful. And part of the reason we really want to focus on this kind of thing now is millennial home buyers and post-COVID home buyers are really, really looking to have a digital experience before they go meet somebody in person now. Millennial home buyers, I'm a millennial, I'll admit we are the worst. We're gonna go online and look at things for 30 to 90 days before we ever reach out to a real estate agent, and then we're gonna pretend like we know everything about the listing because we looked at Zillow, right? Having a tool like Hanna Presentations, Moxie Present, gives you the ability to provide the data that we're looking for in a format that we're used to. We're digital natives. Everybody grew up on the internet in my generation, so they're looking to see, they're looking to have access to the data to be able to touch and interact with it with you not there. So this helps facilitate that, but it also gives you a really good conversation piece. It shows how savvy you are. And one of the best things about every presentation is, for those of you that have done it and know that it's easy, every single presentation is a standalone website with its own URL that you can actually use to send to your client via text, via email, and also you can post online. And so they can be used beyond just one time, if you'd like. They also have the ability to load video. And so right now, video is a hugely important part of content delivery. More people are consuming video as their primary source of content than anything else. 72% of content is consumed as video. And so you can use the videos that you create to really get out in front of other people, to show some of the huge differences in how you approach the business as well. One of the great things about video is it makes you feel like you're there when you're not actually there. And I think that's huge, especially post-COVID, because people are going to be a little leery about going to meet in person. And so being able to just shoot a quick cell phone video, post it on YouTube, and drop it into a presentation, all things which I can show you how to do today, is a really good way to personalize a presentation, to give your presence when you can't actually be present. Okay. And then, as I mentioned before, you can embed live web pages. All you need is a URL, and I'll show you this in action. And then creating a seller CMA is the same steps that you've always done in a seller CMA. So putting in your subject property info, searching for your comparables, editing and sorting those comparables, writing out an estimate, and then using that to generate a presentation. The same 5 steps that anybody that's been in real estate's been using their entire career. It's just one new way to present the information. That's why we call it present. Same thing with building a buyer tour. This is actually one of my favorite functions that we've added over the last year. The buyer tour gives you the ability to enter a starting address, search for properties that you want to highlight for your client and put them in a tour order, sort and edit that tour order, put in custom pages on top of that, and then generate that presentation to send to your client. This is actually a fantastic way to do a remote neighborhood tour. or for those listings that have limits to how many people can actually physically be in the listing at a time, gives you an ability to share those listings with your clients, even though they might not be able to actually physically go into the listing. One of the cool things I've seen done with this recently is a lot of realtors here in the Pacific Northwest are taking video of property or using Matterport and coupling that with buyer tours to be able to create basically a virtual buyer tour for their clients that don't feel safe leaving the house yet. And then there's the non-listing presentations and page library for things when you don't need MLS data. As I said, we created Moxie Present initially as a CMA, but really it doesn't need to be a CMA. You can just use it as a marketing presentation tool, or like I'm using PowerPoint right now, I could very easily do this whole presentation in Moxie Present also. And so when you don't need MLS data, you have direct access to your custom page library, because each of you has a custom page library where you can create your own content. From there, you can print a single page if you only need to grab one. Say you're running out to an appointment, you wanted to grab a market comparison sheet. You can go into your library, grab the market comparison sheet, print it out, and then be off to the races. Also, you can quickly create custom content for yourself. Say you wanted to just get an updated map out there, or you were looking to add a GIF page because you found some funny things that you wanted to share with your client at the end of the presentation to help lighten the mood. You could create those, store them in your library, and use them whenever you want to create a presentation. Also, it really gives you the ability to have full control over your content because that library is yours and yours alone. And then a couple of new things that we've added for presentations are partner pages, starting with buy side, chat support right in the tool. And so as you're working on a presentation, there's a little pink button down in the corner that says help. If you click on that button, you can actually chat live with one of our support reps. And they can see the page that you're on. They can help you with whatever you're looking at right there at the moment. It's a really fantastic way to engage our support team, so I really recommend that you do that. We also started offering an online present course, and I will provide Kate the information for this. So for those of you that have just gotten started with Moxie Present, Hanna presentations, we've created a learning management system course, basically an online class to help you get through getting started and then doing some more of this advanced stuff that I'm going to talk about today. We've built in the personal library, and on our help center, we've posted some webinars for conducting remote open houses and remote listing presentations, just based on things that we've learned from our clients over the last 3 or 4 months during the COVID crisis, how to use Present to really work remotely with people. All right, and so I've talked for a solid 20 minutes or so. And I wanted to take a quick break before I jumped into the product and see if you guys had any questions that I can answer right now.
Chris, I've answered a few, but you know, there was one question about how you're able to add an a property that's not in the MLS. So maybe just show them underneath. And then just some other things that I think I pretty much got it all. If you guys have any questions, please put that in the Q&A right now. Someone's just requesting a thumbnail to see the pages because it's hard to identify. You are able to click them and view them without adding to your presentation. I'm sure Chris can show you that as well. Yep. That's it.
Okay, well then from here, I'm gonna jump right out of this into presentation. All right, and so first I'll show you a couple of pages, and then we'll go back and talk about how I made them. And so the first page on here is actually a YouTube video that I filmed. Geez, this has got to be last time I went to Howard Hanna. And basically, it's a video that I filmed on my laptop, dropped right in a Present. And all I had to do that was just grab this URL here. I'm actually just going to copy this for later so that we can use it and put it into a Present page. I've got a full screen video there. I've got a full Matterport tour in here. This is one of my favorite things to be able to add to a presentation. So if you use Matterport, super cool to be able to put right in your presentation the full Matterport, so that you can actually have a tour of the property for your subject property, or if you're working with a buyer, being able to include this with buyer tour information so that they can actually tour the listing. Very, very cool. And all of this is live. And so another thing, a contact form. And so you can actually put a contact form that your client can submit to right in a present presentations page. I'll show you how to do this as well. This is one of those copy and paste things. Also, a fully live map. And so this is actually Howard Hanna headquarters right here, Gamma Drive. And so a fully functional map right there in present, with all of the functions that are available in Google Maps. This is also something that is as simple as knowing how to copy paste to be able to do. And I will show you guys how to do that also. And then being able to experiment with content. Having all kinds of dynamic imagery in a presentation really makes it more interesting. And some of these I found, I collect these memes and GIFs to put in emails to some of my clients. And I think they're hilarious to be able to share with people. And so I would recommend you guys experimenting with content. It shows your personality. It shows that you're interested in what you're doing. And it really does help take a presentation the extra step to be able to experiment with content like this. And I'll show you exactly how I put these in.
And Chris, yes. I'm sorry to interrupt. This is the third time I've heard this, and I guess I took it for granted. Just everyone, he's saying Moxie Present because he works at Moxie. That is the same as Hanna Presentations. They are synonymous. They are the exact same thing. So Hanna Presentations is Moxie Present. And it is free. It's on our dashboard.
Yep. Sorry about the confusion, guys. I've been using them both interchangeably. I'll try and stick with Hanna Presentations through the rest of this, okay? All right, and so one of the next things that you can do, this is actually a page template that's built right into Hanna Presentations. So for those of you that don't know where to start to create custom pages, we actually set it up to give you a head start to make it a little bit easier. So I'll show you how to get to these templates, as well as how to do something like this, which is put a live web page right there onto a page. So this gives you the opportunity to drop your website right into a presentation so that somebody can search for listings right there from your presentation. They don't have to leave and go anywhere else. It's a really good way to make it sticky so that people go back to the presentation over and over again. But also just really kind of cool to be able to do, and also super, super simple. All right, and so I said all of this is really easy, and you need to know how to do 3 things to be able to make it work. One you already know how to do because you know how to sell real estate. The other 2 are to be able to type and copy and paste. And I'm going to show you exactly where to type and copy and paste to create these things. So I'm going to go right back to GoHanna and go to my Hanna Presentations. And then here from Hanna Presentations, I am going to go ahead and create a couple of these pages. Uh-oh. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and create a couple of these pages. And so let me go ahead and jump into my edit mode. What? Hold on 1 second. All right, I guess I'll just have to do this in my blue account. So don't mind the color change. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a new presentation. And to show you how to do these things, I'm gonna use a non-listing presentation. Go ahead and hit continue. And I'll use my default non-listing template, pop in there. And you'll see a couple of additional things here, but this is for webinar 6, 17. Great. All right, and so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a custom page and do those GIFs that I showed you guys earlier. And so to do that, I'm going to hit Add Page, Create New, and this is going to give me 2 options. The first one, probably everyone's familiar with, is the Upload PDF. The second option is the one that we're going to talk about a lot today. This is where you can do a lot of these advanced features that are really cool. It's this Build page. And so when you click on Build Page, it's going to take you to our web view page builder, and that's what we're seeing here. And then the web view page builder is going to give you a couple of sample layouts to start with. I like to just jump straight to the large full screen layout. And so I'm going to use the full screen layout for this. And the first thing that we're going to create is a quick templated page. And I'm going to show you where those page templates live. So you can do a few things here with these 4 buttons that we put in for each of the page sections. You can add text, you can add an image, you can add video from YouTube, Vimeo, or Daily Motion, just with the URL right there, or you can do more. So what I'm going to encourage you guys all to do is to try and do more, right? And so click on that More button. And what we're going to see here is called a WYSIWYG editor. I know this is where it kind of gets intimidating for everybody. There are only a few buttons, though, that are important on this WYSIWYG editor. You can forget everything else. It's called a WYSIWYG because it's what you see is what you get editor. It's a standard website editor, and every Hanna presentation that you've ever created is a standalone website. So if you've ever created one presentation, you're already a developer. Don't be scared about this. So to jump in, I will show you guys where the templates live. And so there are a few magic buttons here. First, we'll start with templates. And if I click on this button, templates, it's actually going to give me a content page that I can select and drop right in to start creating my present page. So say I wanted to create a photo gallery, I could pop in and just grab this full page with tiles, and it gives me a layout for a photo gallery, right? All of this is going to be responsive. So if I just go ahead and save this layout, it's going to give me a layout for this photo gallery. And if I go ahead and save, right, I can see this in my page library. All of this is going to be responsive as well. And so this page is automatically going to respond to any device size that I want to use. And so if you can see it here, where that text is moving and shrinking and those images are lining up a little bit better, it's automatically going to be responsive for a cell phone, automatically going to be responsive for that Jumbotron if I want to show a listing there as well. Okay. So say I wanted to, instead of just adding a custom page, I wanted to put a whole website in my presentation. So to do that, first I need to know what website I'm going to put in. And we're going to use howardhanna.com. What I'm going to do to get all the information I need to put a website into my presentation is I'm going to right click and copy exactly this URL. So I'm going to right click it, click copy, and then I'm going to go into my presentation, click add page, create new, and build. And then once again, I'm going to go to my full page, click create, and then do a little bit more. And I'm going to go right here to this world button. And this is called iframe. An iframe is essentially a window to a website in your presentation. And so when I click on this iframe, it's going to ask for that URL that I just copied and then some information below it. And it's basically how big do I want to show this website is what it's going to ask me down here. And I want this website to take 80% of the width of my screen and then be 1000 px, which means pixels, tall. And so most screens are about 1080 pixels. So actually I'll correct that and do it for 1080 pixels. And then I want that to show in the middle of my page, and I want people to be able to scroll, right? And so all I did was paste in my URL, tell it how wide I want it to be, how long I want it to be, put in my alignment, and then say, do I want people to be able to scroll on this website that I have put in? And the answer to that is yes. So I'm gonna go ahead and click OK, and it's gonna look broken, right? As soon as I click OK, it's gonna give me this white box that looks broken. Don't panic, just save. And so iframes don't work until you hit save. And then if I go ahead and hit save, it's gonna pull up Hanna. And so it gives you the full website there. Yeah, Kate.
3 questions on this. How do they know what the dimensions are? Should they always use 80 by 100? Is that something just to write down and remember, or does it change based on the website?
I like to use 80 by 1080. And so 80% by 1080 just as a rule of thumb for a full page. So if you're gonna do a full page, if you wanna do half a page, do 540, which is the width of which is the height of half a page.
So, you said 80% by 1080 pixels?
Yep, 80% by 1080 pixels. My daughter just woke up, so she's gonna join us this morning.
So, just want to let everyone know that will be part of the FAQ. We'll put that together for everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris. There's a few more questions. Let me just double check. Someone is asking, could we just make that a default size?
No, and so we don't put in a default size because you could want to frame in something that was narrow at the top. So we want to give you all the flexibility in the world to be able to make it whatever size you need it to be. Like I said, if you were going to put it on half a page, we don't want to sort of pin you into that. One thing that we have done though is under templates, there is a template for an iframe. And so you could actually go in and grab a responsive iframe, and we do 2 aspect ratios there. One's 4:3, which is a standard sort of website laptop screen size, and then the other is 16:9, which is a widescreen size. And so you could grab either one of those out of templates and put the iframe information in that way as well.
Thank you. We're good.
Cool. Yeah, after I'm done with
and good morning.
Sorry about that, guys. Like I said, it's early, so my daughter just woke up. All right, and so now that we've got our iframe in here, I just want to point out to everybody that this is all clickable, and so the whole website actually works in the presentation. All of the forms work, and so this is a really good way to get your content into a presentation consistently in front of your clients. Love you, kiddo. So next thing that we're going to do is we're going to put some videos into a presentation. And so I'm going to just go ahead and close out of my iframe page. I'm going to create a new page, and we're going to do some video. So I'm going to grab my videos off YouTube, but I want to give you guys a little bit of information around what you should be looking for when you grab a video. So first, any publicly available video source like YouTube, Vimeo, or Dailymotion allows you to use any of these links to any of these videos for whatever you want. These are publicly available, and so you can use them for whatever you want. One thing I will recommend to every single one of you is if you're using a video that is not yours from YouTube, watch it all the way to the end. Part of the reason you're going to want to watch it all the way to the end is just in case something crazy happens 5 minutes into that video or after the first 30 seconds, you're going to want to know about it. And I will give you an example. I have a client that I work with in Southern California. They do a lot of listings for properties that were in Hollywood movies. And they basically do a lot of really fantastic luxury listings, but they don't really pay attention to watching the video all the way through. And so what happened was there was this great drone footage that was taken of one of these agents' listings. And I think it was in the Santa Barbara area. There's great drone footage. And what they did was they grabbed that drone footage off YouTube, but didn't realize that that footage was from a Michael Bay movie. And so there's this big sweeping shot for the first 45, 50 seconds of a helicopter going around the property, looking down, panning around the cliffside where you can see the beach. It was absolutely beautiful. And then a semi-truck plows through the front of that listing and explodes. So watch the video all the way to the end, because that was not what they meant to include in their CMA. And I'm sure you guys wouldn't want to do that either. But what we're going to do to get a video to use in our presentation, now that I've given my watch the video all the way to the end speech, we're going to grab a URL. And so I'm actually going to take this one from Kate on using Howard Hanna GIFs on Instagram. And so
Howard Hanna agents.
And so I'm going to just go ahead and grab the URL for this just by hitting that share button, click copy, and then I'm going to go back into my presentation, create a new page, hit build page, and then once again, it's as simple as I've copied. Now I'm going to paste, and there is my video.
Watch it.
I'm not going to watch the video right now. Thank you, though. We can watch it later, okay? And so there we've got our video page. And so if I wanted to do a video gallery, I could do that same thing by using one of the other layouts in here. So if I wanted to put 6 videos or 4 videos, I could grab this gallery view. Say I wanted to do a neighborhood tour and show restaurants and dog parks and breweries. I could put videos for each of those topics under a headline and give that to my client as a neighborhood tour. Or I could mix up images, video, and text all in the same page using one of these templates. Give me 5 minutes, Phil.
So you can talk to her for a moment. I just want to answer a question for people. Someone asked if you have a video on YouTube and you share it, will it continually play other videos? Unless your account is at the point where you have, I don't even know how many followers or subscribers, it will always go to another video. You'll have to, if it's a playlist, then it's going to go to that. So that makes life easier, but you're unable to stop the video unless you have like 1,000 followers and you're basically like a famous person. Otherwise, it will automatically play another one at the end. You could turn off that autoplay.
Not in a presentation, it won't, actually.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it stops at the end of a presentation. It will show other videos. And so it'll show the thumbnails for other videos in your presentation, but it won't autoplay the next thing. So it'll only show that there are other related videos, but it's not necessarily going to autoplay them. Jen, can you use Vimeo instead of YouTube? Absolutely. I wish you could add an ending thumbnail as well. If it was your video, and so if it is your video on your YouTube channel, you can decide what the ending thumbnail is going to be. Just in case you guys didn't know, if you have a Gmail account, you absolutely have a YouTube account. So if you have a Gmail account, you also have a YouTube account. And to access that and actually upload your own videos is really, really easy. And we can do a separate quick video on that, and I can share it with you and the team. All right. Any other questions that I should jump into, Kate?
No, I'm trying to answer as you give the answers so we can make this FAQ really quick.
Okay, perfect. And so the next thing I wanted to show you guys is how I made that GIF page. And so I basically just download GIF images from the internet to make that, but I'll show you exactly how those got into my presentation using this multiple channel view. So I'm actually going to duplicate that page that I created before. And so I'll type in my headline, extra, extra large text. and say experiment with,
my breakfast.
I know, experiment with content. And then I'm just going to use images to add GIFs. GIFs are just images. And so as you use Present more often, you're going to have access to all of your images in an image library like I have here. Or you can upload images from the web like I'm going to do right now. And so I grabbed this image from online. I copied it to, or I downloaded it to my computer, and I can just add it right into a Present presentation. And since it's a GIF, it's automatically going to show my animation for me. And so that page I made earlier had several of these in here. So I'm gonna just
Chris, you got to slow down and do that. People are very excited about this part. Can you just go from the beginning, how you did this?
Yeah, absolutely. And so from here to get these GIFs in here, I'll just go ahead and click image. And then I can get it either from a URL online. And so if I found a GIF online on a website, I can grab that URL and put it in. Or I can take a downloaded GIF from my computer and upload it. And so I can go ahead and hit upload. And then there we go. And it's going to upload my image. And once that's uploaded, I can just add it straight to my presentation.
So everyone's asking about the Howard Hanna GIFs. I put it in the chat. We have Howard Hanna has a Giphy account. So when he does it from the web, I know he's dealing with his daughter, but maybe Chris, if you could show how they find like the Howard Hanna one using Giphy, I put it in the chat. that'd be fantastic.
Okay, and so let me see in the chat where that URL is.
It's Giphy.com and yep.
Giphy.com, and so you can actually just type in Howard Hanna and search. And I think the name is @Howard Hanna, right?
Yes.
So you can go to Giphy.com/Howard Hanna and see all of the Howard Hanna GIFs. Or if you can't remember that, just go to Giphy.com and search for Howard Hanna, and it'll take you to all of these GIFs as well.
I'll put it in the FAQ.
Ooh, I think the penguin's adorable. That's super cute. Okay, and so that is putting GIFs in your presentation. And then the last thing I want to show you guys is how to use these interactive maps. All right, so we'll go ahead and do an interactive map. Let's see, what's a good location? Let's just do New York. New York City in New York State. I'm gonna just go ahead and grab a map. So I'll go to Google Maps, and any map on Google Maps will work. So you can type in an address, you can type in a specific location, you can type in a state, whatever you want to do to grab your map and narrow in. And so I can adjust this map. But when I've got it just right and it's showing me exactly what I want, I just go ahead and hit this share button and then this embed button. Once I've hit embed, it's going to give me some options. I can grab a large, medium, small, or custom size map. I always like to just grab a large map. And so it's going to give you a sizable map here. And all you need to do, once again, this is all just copying, pasting, is hit copy HTML. And so I'm going to go ahead and copy that HTML. It's going to copy it to my clipboard. And then I go back into Present, and I can create a map page by just going add new page, create new, build, and then once again back to our trusty full page layout. I click create, and then I go to more once again, and the world with little red parentheses around it, it's called embed. I click on that and paste in my code. I don't even need to know what this means, and hit OK, and it's going to give me my map. And so to center my map, I just click on it, center it, and all of this is going to be interactive like I showed you in my presentation earlier. You can even get down to street level if you want to. And so you can pop all the way down to street level on some of these where you can drop a person onto this street. And so very, very cool. way to be able to interact. One of the things I like about this is on Google Maps, you can actually sort for certain things. And so you can look for restaurants or shops or bars and include that in your map using the map menu. So you can actually tailor your map to what your customer is looking to see. Really, really cool way to add some additional value there. Cool. Any questions about the maps?
Nothing about the maps. Can you just show how to just show the, hold on, I'm getting confused by some of the questions. Someone just wants to see the start of a listing presentation. There is a video already on that of going through creating the whole listing presentation. This is definitely like the advanced version. I can send a link out to like Hanna Presentations 101.
Well, if you want me to run through it real quick, it takes like 2 minutes.
That's fine. There are some questions here about uploading the PDF versus the page. So I think, and then it's a little too fast when you clicked on the map. People got a little lost on how that happened. So it is recorded, guys. You can go back, just make note where we are in we're what, 46 minutes in. So make note, you can go back and view that. It'd be nice to get through like a few other things that Chris can share, and then you can, refer back to the video. So Chris, go ahead and just show a basic start to a listing presentation.
Yeah, and so I will do that. I've actually got my own house on a listing presentation here, so we'll just use one of those. Here we go. Let's see. Actually, yeah, let me use this listing. All right, and so the output for a listing presentation, first I want to check and make sure that I did a legitimate listing presentation here. So give me 1 second. Nope, this is buy-side pages. Okay, so we're gonna just do a net new one. Cool. So what I would do for a listing presentation, if I'm creating a new presentation, first, if the listing has been on the MLS, I want to get the MLS number for that listing. If it hasn't been on the MLS recently, then I would want to just start with putting in the location information on my subject property page. And so this is my subject property page. This listing is actually my real house. So basically I fill in all the information, the location, any subdivision information, the size, property, parcel number, whatever information that I have, I can update the remarks that are in there. So if you can find an old listing, we actually store listings up to 3 years in the past. And so if you can find an old listing for that same property and clack the MLS number in, we'll pull this in automatically for you. And you can go in and edit the remarks. If you can't find an old listing number, you can actually just do all the subject property stuff from scratch right here. And so the first step is putting in your subject property page. The next step, and you hit continue, is searching for listings. And since I'm in Seattle, what we're going to do is actually kick off a search for you based on the area that you're in. And so based on the listing features that you put in. And so it looks like I'm getting a long-running query because there are too many listings in my area. So let's just apply a filter. Either way, so I don't have time to fiddle with this now, but it'll pull up comps essentially in a list, and you can select from those listed comps which ones make sense for you to add to your presentation. And then those will show up on your listings tab. Once you've added all those comps and decided what makes sense, if there's something that isn't available on the MLS, you can actually add a custom listing. If there's something that's off market or a pocket listing that you know about, you can actually create and
use that on my egg.
Okay, kiddo, we'll use that on your eggs tomorrow. You can actually create a custom listing for that listed for that property that only you may know about. Or if this is the case where you want to include their neighbor's property, just as a way to show them the difference in pricing, you can do that as well. And then that takes you over to your estimate tab that gives you the ability to use our pricing stats, which are based on square footage and the listing data that we've pulled in, or you can create your own pricing based on a single point or a range. And so if you have the range, you can actually do that by a percentage basis and a range, and we'll calculate that for you. And you can enter your remarks here. You can also create net proceeds pages, and I think these are really useful for showing, especially somebody that's transacting on their home for the very first time, what the actual proceeds of the sale would be after mortgage payoff, settlement costs, all the taxes are paid, and their fees have been paid to the brokerage. And then the last step here is really just organizing and adding the pages that you'd like to add into your presentation. So if there's information about your area that you'd like to add, it's going to be right there in the presentation. You can drag and drop that content to where it's going to work best for you, and add pages from your brokerage library, your personal library, or create net new pages, completely new pages, using that create page widget. And then once you're all done, the two things I recommend that you do every single time when you're done with the presentation and you're going to send it off to your client is use this send button up in the corner. Use this send button up in the corner because that is going to connect with your Engage account. And so if you use that send button and send a presentation, you can just type in the person's name and it's going to pull up their information right from your Engage account. Makes it way easier. And I always recommend that you send the PDF, and I know a lot of people just send the PDF. Send the PDF and the digital presentation. If you send this way, it makes for smaller file sizes, so you don't have to worry about trying to attach it in a regular email. So if you have a million pictures for every listing in your presentation, you don't have to worry about how big the file size is if you send this way. Also, they'll get a digital copy of the presentation as well. And every time they open or print from this email, you'll actually get to see them interacting with it in Engage. So very, very cool way to know that people are actually interested in your presentation after you've given it. Any questions about that?
Yes. If you hit the send button, does it also link the URL for the presentation so that they can click through?
Yes, it does. Or if you hit the send button, it will send them an email with a link to the presentation. And so send presentations automatically checked, but you can send them a portrait PDF. When you hit send, your client will receive that in their email, and they can just click right on the presentation. It's going to link right to it and open it in their browser.
Yeah, so someone just asked, so they'll be able to see a lot more about that listing when they click the link. They can see the pictures. It's a really cool way to share this URL version.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, I think I know the answer to this, but there's no way to get it to not include below grade square footage, is there?
No, there is not. And we've started working on a solution for that. It's just that every MLS is so different in how they give us the information, and every state and region is so different on whether they want to show above grade, below grade, total, that we haven't figured out a way to make it scalable across 15 different states for that exact use case. So we've got our PM team working on that.
Okay, I don't get the question.
Any other questions, you guys?
I think we're good. I think I answered 35. I think that was enough. Yeah, you can read the question in there now. I don't entirely understand about out of area MLS numbers. And there's a question that just came through. If someone sends our presentation, the file size was huge and would not, it exceeded what our Howard Hanna allows. Was there something that they would have done wrong? If it's just a, if you send the URL, it should send no matter what.
Yeah,
if
if you
you're
send the
downloading,
URL,
I'm sorry, Chris.
if you send the URL, it's going to go out no matter what. If you download the presentation and try and send it through your email, through your personal email, then the file size is going to be massive. And the reason that is usually because of comparable images. And so every high-res image is like a megabyte, and there's a limit in your email to how big a file it will allow you to send. And I think it's somewhere around 25 or 30 for you guys' email, which is why I recommend using this send button, because that actually sends through our bulk mailer that doesn't have the same file size limitations. It is. You put sprinkles on it. That's amazing.
Can you show one more time how to do the URL? Oh, he's doing it right now.
And if you ever run into questions on stuff like this when we're not on a webinar, and unfortunately I'm gonna have to jump off soon because my daughter just poured sprinkles onto something that she probably shouldn't be eating. Ew. So I'm gonna have to jump off and stop this travesty from happening. But if you run into anything that you want to ask questions about while you're actually in the tool, what I really recommend that you do is click this pink help button down in the corner. It'll bring up a window that does a couple of things. So first, what it's going to do is it's going to look at the page that you're on and see if it can answer any questions for you. But then there's this Get in Touch button down at the bottom. From 8:30 to 5:30 Pacific, when you click that Get in Touch button, you're going to get two options right now since our team hasn't woken up yet. It says leave a message, but in about a half an hour, it will say leave a message and chat. And so you can actually chat with one of our support reps through this widget from 8:30 Pacific to 5:30 Pacific, p.m. Pacific, and they can see what page you're on. It makes it really helpful for them to be able to, or it makes it really helpful because they can see exactly what you're trying to do and help walk you through it without you having to explain it or take screenshots. So really cool way to get help from our support team.
Well, Chris, I'll let you go take care of the sprinkle situation. You have a lot of people that thought this was incredibly helpful. I thought it was great. Definitely going to set people apart right now in a much more virtual world since COVID. I mean, embed videos, testimonial videos, introduce yourself. You can really, really wow your potential clients, especially those millennial ones. So I want to say thank you to Chris. We will get the video out. And if you have any questions, I can stay on. Chris, you can sign off whenever. I can stay on for just a moment if there's anyone that needs something reviewed. Or if you have a question for me while I'm on, I've got about 10 minutes or so. So thank you again, Chris.
All right, everybody, thank you. And sorry for the weird interruption, but my daughter always loves it when we're on stuff like this, so she came to say hi. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you taking the time.
Bye.
Bye. What's her name, Chris?
Her name's Valiant.
Valiant?
Valiant, like Prince Valiant or the Valiant Knight.
Well, I hope she enjoys the sprinkles, and it was nice to meet her.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, I'm going to show you. I've got a great question that someone asked. How can they embed their testimonials in Hanna presentations? So this is actually a phenomenal question, and if you want to stay on with me, I will show you how to do that. So right now, there's no way to do like a live view of your testimonials, and I am going to show you this using the iframe. So let me just log in as my agent identity. Oh, look, people are staying on. All right. All right, so we'll just go to Hanna presentations. All right, we'll do this one. Oops. All right, so I'm going to edit this. And I'm just going to go to my reviews page. All I want is that URL. So I actually added a video here, which he was showing you. But I'm just going to go to my agent website. And you can get the URL off of, I think this is the easiest way to do it just because you know what it looks like. But you can get it off the dashboard too. So I'm going to go to my reviews. All right, and I'm going to just make sure I copy this link right here. All right, so when I go to Hanna Presentations, you're going to see the add page, and then I want to create new. So this question came up a few times. You go to add page, create new, and then you have to do a build page. The build page is what's going to make for the dynamic like URL version. So if you want to have anything that's like a video, a GIF, a link, you have to do build page. And just like Chris, I'm picking the big blank one. This is the one that I'm going to use. Okay, it's defaulted to this one. I'm going to pick this one. I'm going to hit create. And then that more button right here. So more. And then you're going to see this scary little template. Remember the earth that says iframe? I'm going to paste that URL. The width, just write this down. I did 80%, 1080 pixels. I want to allow scroll bars. Put it in the middle. That's all I need to fill out. 80%, 1080 pixels. Can you all see that? Making it, there you go. Oop, too big. 80%, 1080 pixels. I just pasted the URL. And I'm clicking enable scroll bars. Go back to normal size, shall we? Oop. All right, I'm going to hit OK. It will not show up until you click save. It's not reading anything until I click the save button. And we'll just call this testimonial iframe. I click save. And now I see this scroll bar and eventually they'll load. I've got a few testimonials in here, which is nice. And now this is actually part of my Hanna presentation. It's a great way to make your testimonial page live on Hanna presentation. All right, I see 6 questions now. Kavita, can we use this testimonials from realtor.com? A few questions for that, or a few answers for that. Your realtor.com page should have our testimonials go to realtor.com, so those speak to one another. You should be able just to do it with your Hanna reviews page the same way. But again, you can do this with any URL. Diane, what I copied. So I went to my web page, or I went to my whatever this is, my website. I went to my website first. And then I clicked on my reviews. And I took this URL up here. This is essentially the web page for all of my URLs. I hope that answers your question. Christina, any page you want. So anytime you guys have a URL that you want to share, that you can put it, you could do, I mean, some might have blocked cookies. I don't know if actually Facebook is an example of one. We'll find out. I'm sure people are going to start dropping off here. I think Facebook might be blocked when it comes to iframes. But I mean, any other page that you want to use. So I'm showing this again. I don't know if it's going to work, but build page. I do the full version. I hit create. I click more. I do the little earth here, and I paste that URL. And I have to be honest, guys, I'm not sure if Facebook will work. Yeah, so Facebook won't, just because I think that's the cookies behind it, it's blocked. But anything else that has a URL, you should be able to share. Yes, Tracy, so this can be saved as a template. So great question. All right, I'm gonna have to get off here soon, guys, but if you like this, like I could just click save as template and make this my like about Kate template. And if I ever wanted to use this and then like add different pieces and parts to it, when I click on my new presentation, it would ask what template I want, and I would just pick Meet Kate or whatever I called it. All right, I think we could probably be on here forever. Oh, Christine, great question. Okay, so if you have a video that you've created, you just need to upload it to YouTube, and then you can share it. So I did, where is it? So this is actually a video that I created, and this is on my YouTube channel. I don't want it to make noise. Okay, anyway. So this is me introducing myself. So if I wanted to send this to some buyers or sellers in the middle of, you know, virtual work from home time or whatever, I just made a video on my phone. I had or a tablet. I had it up, and then I just uploaded that video from my phone to YouTube. So if you have the YouTube app on your phone, you just upload it, and then once you go on the computer, you'll get that URL and you can save it. Kristen, so that testimonial page will be, these are great questions. Okay, so that testimonial page will now always be in my pages. I hope there are still a fair amount of you on. Yes, awesome. So when I go to add page, add from library. So here's your lovely little homework assignment, right? I give these all the time. Go to add page, add from library. And you'll notice under my pages will be all the pages that you've ever created. So you can add any of these pages that you want. I don't even know what this one is. Oh, that's old. So these are pretty old. But I mean, I added that, you know, these are pretty old pages here. They will be here. So if I wanted to include my testimonial iframe that is saved on my pages, I don't have to do any of that again. So if you want to upload, okay, this will be my last question, I think. You want to upload just regular PDF pages. Really simple, add page, create new, upload PDF, and then just find on your folder or your desktop, wherever, the page that you want to upload. And then that will be here forever as well. You can put that in a template, you can save that, it will be saved on the cloud. So you just have to upload these pages or build these pages once and they will be there for forever. All right, I think I got most of them. So Diane, that link, it's an iframe link. So that means if a new testimonial comes in, it's just pulling that exact same website. So you just need to put that iframe together. And then if I get a testimonial tomorrow, it will show up in my presentation. If I get one in a year from now, it will show up in my presentation. It's pulling the live link, that website. If you only have access to offline, I'm actually going to make, Chuck Flynn from New York gave a great tech tip. I would put this on my YouTube, but everyone has access. If you have unlimited data, everyone has access to a hotspot. So if you're at a potential seller's home or you're meeting with a buyer at an open house and for some reason you don't have data on a tablet or a computer and you need to use Wi-Fi, you can turn the hotspot on your phone and link to the internet. So you have internet everywhere. Everywhere that you have cell service, you have internet. Okay, I think I've done enough here. Norman, I'm just seeing your question. If you shoot several videos of a home, you probably would want to either put them in a playlist on YouTube and share the playlist, or you can merge them with some video apps, depending on how techy you feel. And you could share that URL, embed that URL. All right, guys, I am going to get on another call here. I gotta get out of here. This will be available on YouTube, on the Howard Hanna YouTube later today. I'll upload it here in a moment, and I hope you enjoyed the Wednesday webinar. And thank you everyone for all your nice comments.